My name is Greg Wilkinson, and I'm president of a company called UV Pharma. We produce products that treat and prevent diseases in food-producing animals.
You got one of those annoying recordings? Oh, God. I got to tell you, I hate those recordings.
Yeah, well, and I normally just delete them. But I was so frustrated with what we were experiencing. They say timing is everything, and I've shared with Doug. His timing was impeccable because I was just coming off a very frustrating experience with an existing company here in town. And I've listened to his message, and I said, you know what? Why not? It's a phone call. It's not going to cost me anything. And when Doug and I connected on the phone, set up an appointment, he came in, and it was apparent from the beginning that he understood the business needs of a relationship, that he was trying to help me grow my business or support my business. And really, my experiences were so poor initially that I didn't have a lot of expectations for Doug, because every attempt we had made to secure IT help typically ended in either disaster and or total dissatisfaction, frustration, you name it. The thing that keeps me up at night and what we depend on Doug, and he's responded well, is our production facility in St. Louis, where we have almost 40 employees. We have a main line or a server or a production process that ties into a server in Europe, as well as here. So we have a critical need to always be up and running. Without it, we don't operate. And Doug understands the production side of things. I don't have to explain to him. He voluntarily went to St. Louis when we were looking at putting the server in. And he met with the local people in St. Louis, his colleagues in St. Louis. So he doesn't have to wonder what St. Louis looks like. As a matter of fact, he and one of his people, they both went out. So when we say St. Louis is down, we don't have to explain what that means. They go into action. As a matter of fact, most of the time they know they're down because they've alerted us to the fact from the monitoring program that he's initiated with us. So we have the confidence that somebody's watching our system, is not just us. And then once I understood a little bit more about CMIT and the reach that it has across the U.S., it was a little more comforting to me knowing that I was working with someone other than just a local person. Because again, those were my previous experiences, and I really chose not to repeat those. The fact that CMIT had an operation or franchise in St. Louis was just a plus, because now we've got two companies, similar philosophies, same name on the business card, that can talk to each other, and we don't have to get involved. Doug can make the phone call to his colleague in St. Louis with CMIT. They work out the details. They go into the site, fix it. They report back to Doug. Doug reports to us. So we've consolidated all that communication into one point. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to have meetings with other IT companies, and I have to constantly stop and go, what's that mean? What are you referring? Because they speak to me as if I'm fully aware and informed of all the technical jargon and the acronyms and such, and I'm sitting here thinking, if I knew this, I wouldn't need you. That's what I like about Doug and the way he structured his company is he and I can have a conversation about needs and or even issues that we may be experiencing. He can explain those to his support people, and then they can get busy with the technical side of that. And I don't have to engage in that. That's a fresh, actually, approach to me. And it's one that really helped convince me that Doug's the kind of guy that I can call. Not have to worry about looking up model numbers or writing anything down. And then his guys can go from there.
Could they even come to Doug if their technology was working and things were fine and still get value?
I think absolutely. It goes back to the experience that this particular branch or franchise of CMIT with Doug and his experience, because when we initially met, it wasn't about technical jargon. It wasn't about, it was about understanding our business first. The difference that I would say that Doug brings is that understanding of business, and understanding when you need something or when you don't need it. He's proven himself to be very reliable. His responsiveness is still impressive to us.
Well, what's that mean? Responsiveness. How responsive is he?
Well, you know, I'm only as good as the people that I have working. As president of Huvie Pharma, I'm a single individual. I can't run the business. Doug has had the foresight to hire experienced people like Brian and Demetrius. His people don't come in and learn from us. They come in and they fix our problems, or they may ask questions or recognize something without even a prompting to offer a solution to something they've observed through their interaction with our employees or in the office here with what they might be able to bring in that can help us run more efficiently. And I think that's another key is Doug is, because of his business background, he's constantly tuned into how do we make your company your IT aspect of your company more efficient, and reducing costs or eliminating costs, or even convince me to invest in certain things that down the road and in the future will be a net savings or a good investment.